Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the post-Fastlane edition of NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com, as well as the YouTube channel and NoDQ&A videos affiliate, ringsidenews.com. Also the post-Raw edition of NoDQ&A video coming off the Fastlane pay-per-view. All I have to say is finally, WWE is kicking things into high gear for Wrestlemania 32 after a lackluster Fastlane pay-per-view. And I can honestly say for the first time, I'm actually excited for the WrestleMania 32 pay-per-view. So I will give credit where credit is due. People say I'm so negative all the time. WWE hit a home run tonight. They really put on a tremendous show, and they made me interested in the WrestleMania 32 event. Got your questions here from twitter.com/AaronRift, and I apologize. I have gotten behind in answering questions. I have a lot of questions backed up that I haven't gotten to, so bear with me. Let's get started here. First one today comes from Kayfabe Sensation. Hi Aaron, longtime viewer and first time asker. What are your thoughts on Shane O'Mac's return and his future in WWE? Please answer in video, #awesome. Well, at the very least, I no longer have to answer questions about Shane McMahon's return. I think in the past 4+ years that I've been doing these videos, the number one or number two question I get is, when will Shane McMahon return to WWE? And the answer is, he's back now. Shane McMahon making his surprise return to Monday Night Raw. And there was speculation during the day that there was going to be some sort of major angle happening on this show. And I even talked about it last week. I said that it's likely that this whole Vincent J. McMahon Award presentation segment is going to set up a major match at WrestleMania. And I even said last week, probably a match that fans will be way more excited about than Triple H versus Roman Reigns. And sure enough, we have Shane McMahon coming out, finally making his return to WWE. And I thought it was a tremendous segment. I loved it. I felt it really added a lot to WrestleMania, and it really needed to be done. Something had to happen here to get the buzz going for WrestleMania. I mentioned the other night about Fastlane that WWE really needed a major event to kick off the road to WrestleMania on a high note. And this was it, bringing back Shane McMahon, one of the most popular WWE stars, personalities in history, and certainly a guy that fans have always been asking about. Even though he's been gone, like I've said, I've been getting the questions about him for years. People always asking me about what he's doing and when he might come back to WWE. And I always said that I think that under the right circumstances, such as a potential WrestleMania storyline or, other ideas, a WWE versus NXT storyline, and that may still happen. But I mentioned that if there was the right opportunity to come back, Shane McMahon would come back, and here he is. He's back in WWE, and he's going to be in a match at WrestleMania, at least unless WWE goes in a different direction. And I got other questions here regarding Shane McMahon. This one comes from Just Josh. A returning Shane McMahon versus Undertaker at WrestleMania, best for business or a last-ditch effort? I would say a little bit of both. I mean, let's face it, this is definitely a last-ditch effort in the sense that WWE had a lot of bad injuries happen. You had Seth Rollins getting hurt, you had John Cena getting hurt, Randy Orton getting hurt. A lot of the top-tier stars that were expected to be in high-profile WrestleMania matches got hurt. And WWE needed something desperately. I mean, yes, it is a last-ditch effort. So why not go to Shane? I'm sure that they went to Shane and pitched him this idea, and he accepted it. So it is what it is. Is it best for business? The fact that we're talking about it and people are pumped up about it and excited, I would say it is best for business. This was definitely the right move to bring back Shane McMahon for WrestleMania. Alright, got this question here from Joshua Anderson. Please answer in video, Shane versus Undertaker, WTF. Am I the only one who hates this idea? I'm just watching TakeOver Dallas. Your thoughts? I have seen a few people negative on this, and the one thing that I'm intrigued about, and I'm wondering how they will pull this off, is Shane McMahon is this beloved babyface. Everyone's happy to see him back, but Undertaker is an all-time legend, also a beloved babyface. So how are you doing this match exactly? Because fans want to cheer for Shane because they feel that Shane gaining control of Raw will do something to turn the company around, even though this is just a storyline. But, you know, the fans are getting into the heat of the moment. You know, Shane McMahon during his promo was bringing up a lot of the feelings of the internet, you know, talking about how WWE is starting to go down in business, and he was bringing up all these different things. And the thing is, though, who are the fans going to cheer for at WrestleMania? They want to cheer for Shane McMahon, but at the same time, they want to cheer for Undertaker. So I'm not really sure what to make of this exactly, and they're doing Hell in the Cell. I'm not sure how the crowd is going to react at WrestleMania. Now, with this all being said, there's a possibility that something might change. Maybe there'll be some sort of angle and Shane McMahon has a substitute for WrestleMania, and that substitute is John Cena. I've seen a lot of people come up with that as a potential idea for WrestleMania, and maybe that's the intention here. Maybe they're not sure if Cena's ready to go for WrestleMania. They need a few more weeks, so they shot this angle, and if John Cena's ready to go, they can always do a storyline where Shane has John Cena wrestle in his place at WrestleMania. Or maybe Shane is going to go out there and do one more match. And I'm sure, you know, if that is the plan, I'm sure Shane McMahon's ready to go one way or another. And maybe we'll still get some sort of thing where John Cena gets involved in the match and helps out Shane or something. But yeah, it's definitely interesting when you're having a babyface versus a babyface, how the crowd's going to react to this exactly. So we'll see what happens if they do some sort of swerve or take this in a different direction. Hopefully this isn't just WWE throwing a match together and not really knowing what they're going to do with it. Hopefully they have a solid idea and a solid plan how they're going to get the right crowd reactions from the fans at WrestleMania. Alright, I got this question here from UberFox25. Do you think that Sting will interrupt the Hell in the Cell match to set up a future match between Sting and The Undertaker? I think there's a decent chance we will see Sting at the pay-per-view in some capacity. He's going into the Hall of Fame the night before, and I'm sure he'll be there for the ceremony where they all come out. And I think there's always a chance that he will be there in some form. But will he get involved in this match? Honestly, I think that the ship has probably sailed on Sting versus The Undertaker. He's hurt, Sting needs surgery, and I do not see him getting physically involved. If he was going to be physically involved, I think they would have done that match. But I mean, clearly he's not in the condition to perform, and I don't see him really doing anything physical. Like I said, if I think anybody gets involved in that match, it'll be John Cena in some capacity. And the cat is snoring. Not sure if you guys can hear that, but cat's in the background snoring. Very good. Alright, moving on here. This question comes from Rob K. I've never wanted Taker to lose at WrestleMania before this. Any chance we see Shane turn back the clock for another classic bump? One would think so. One would think that Shane will go all out in this match. Shane McMahon has always gone out there and put his body on the line and done everything possible to give the fans a memorable night. And I think that WrestleMania will be no exception. You know, some fans are speculating maybe he'll jump off one of the jumbotrons above the ring. I don't know if he'll do something that crazy. I mean, Shane McMahon is not a young guy anymore. He's getting up there. He's middle-aged. He's got the gray hair. But I could see Shane taking a lot of crazy bumps. You know, I mentioned this before. Undertaker is getting in tremendous shape for WrestleMania. You know, it's going to be very physical, and I'm sure that whatever Shane does, he's going to take some crazy bumps. He's gonna feel the heat of the moment, and he's gonna want to go out there and go all out in that match. You know, he was so emotional when he came back. You could see it in his face and in the tone of his voice. You know how much it meant to him to get that crowd reaction, and you know he has it in his blood. So you know I'm certain Shane's gonna do some crazy things at WrestleMania. At the very least, we'll be seen coast to coast. I'm sure of that. All right, this one comes from Brian. What was the point of R-Truth versus Curtis Axel's match at the Fastlane pay-per-view? Seriously? Couldn't they just add 5 more minutes to the main event? Yeah, it's really mind-boggling because on one hand you want to have a filler segment between 2 big matches, but the thing that I do not understand is that they did 2 filler segments one after another. They did the Edge and Christian segment with the New Day and the League of Nations, and that was enough. I mean, why follow that up with another filler segment unless they were just really screwed up with the timing of everything, and that's why they put those guys out there. They were on standby and they just went out there and did a quick match. Who knows? I don't understand it. It did bring down the show a lot, in my opinion. I mean, Fastlane was a fairly good, solid show up until that last hour with those 2 filler segments, and then, you know, the whole booking of the main event finish. So yeah, I mean, the only reason I can think is that there was some sort of timing miscue and they needed time to fill, so they threw those guys out there. Alright, this one comes from Extremes Dawn. How does Roman win the title in a way that would make the fans happy? Well, after watching Raw tonight, I'm not sure if there's a way to do that. Roman Reigns is a babyface. I don't know. I don't know how that works going into WrestleMania and following WrestleMania. I just don't know what you do with Roman Reigns. The fact that Triple H went out there and got this huge babyface reaction when he's supposed to be this hated heel authority figure, I'm not sure what you can do at this point to turn things around. I mean, people are wondering why the fans have been so negative on Roman when at TLC it felt like fans were starting to warm up to Reigns. The thing is, at the TLC pay-per-view, Roman Reigns was portrayed more like a badass that you wanted to cheer. You need reasons to want to cheer for a guy, and when he went out there and he rebelled against the boss and he beat up the boss, you know, it was flashbacks to Stone Cold Steve Austin, and you know, that helped Roman's character when he goes out there and he does things that make you want to cheer for the guy. But lately, I'm not sure what they're thinking with him. When he wins a match by a fluke, and JBL even says that he was in the right place at the right time, that does nothing to help Roman Reigns' character and make fans want to cheer for the guy when he's winning by a fluke. If he was going to win that match at Fastlane, I hate to say it, I mean, it shouldn't have been done anyways, but if you were going to do a match with Brock Lesnar involved, then Roman Reigns should have decisively beaten Brock Lesnar at Fastlane. You know, I wouldn't have done that personally, but if WWE was insistent on putting Brock in there, you should have had Roman Reigns kick Brock Lesnar's ass, not the other way around, and have Roman Reigns beat the weak link because Brock Lesnar got knocked to the outside from a steel chair shot. To me, that whole booking and storytelling did no favors to Roman Reigns. So, after Raw and after Fastlane, I really have no confidence. The only thing you can do is just have Roman Reigns go out there and kick ass and give fans reasons to cheer for the guy. But just by having him go out there and doing the punch and the spear, it's not going to be enough. And it's not going to help Roman's case when you have the upcoming Raws in Chicago and Brooklyn and Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. This is just going to be a really rough month for Roman Reigns. Alright, got this one here from Devin. What did you think of the Godfather going into the Hall of Fame? I liked the Godfather character back in the day. I was entertained by it. He was certainly one of the more entertaining characters of the Attitude Era, and I even enjoyed Papa Shango, even though I wasn't a big fan of that whole Papa Shango Ultimate Warrior angle. That was just completely ridiculous. So I liked the Godfather and the character, but as far as the Hall of Fame goes, I mean, if the Hall of Fame was meant to be taken seriously, then I would say no, he should not be in the Hall of Fame, but it is what it is. The Hall of Fame is more of a publicity tool for WWE, and let's face it, you know, people ask me what the criteria is for the Hall of Fame, and really it comes down to two things. One is you had an entertaining run in the company. You had a good run. Not the best run, not one of the better runs, but just a good run. And the other is being on good terms with the company. And since Godfather fits both of those categories, he's a solid choice for the Hall of Fame. And whatever the case is, it'll be entertaining. He'll come out there, it'll be fun nostalgia, so whatever. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. And I got this question here from Soap Kappa. Please answer in video. Did you watch and enjoy the Edge and Christian show? I enjoyed the wrestling references, but it wasn't too funny. I watched about half of it, and then I had to turn it off. I really hate to say this because I like Edge and Christian, but I felt that it was more annoying than funny. I think the one thing I found funny was the Vince skit. I thought Vince did a good job, and you know, they did the internet reference to Vince not liking Christian. I liked that, but everything else I felt was just really lame and forced. And I'm not sure what they were spoofing exactly. I think maybe Bill and Ted, I'm not sure. But it was just really obnoxious, too obnoxious for my taste. And you know, some people thought it was funny. It just didn't work for me. Let's just put it that way. I mean, for some people, they like that kind of humor. I just thought it was irritating. Alright, so that'll wrap it up for this edition of No DQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com for all the latest breaking developments regarding WrestleMania. Like this video, share it on Facebook and Twitter, and I will see you guys next time.